2016, the Canon Vixia HF R700 hit the market, and by 2017, my girlfriend and I had it in hand, eager to dive into the world of filmmaking, a passion we were determined to pursue. With this camcorder, we created a handful of short films and even a documentary. As time passed and our skills grew, so did our equipment, and the Vixia eventually found itself retired to the sidelines. But now, nearly a decade later, I'm dusting it off and bringing it back into action. Armed with years of experience in the film world and a team of talented friends at Mediaverse Studios, I'm setting out to see if this outdated camcorder can still deliver some magic. Together, we'll turn back the clock and prove that creativity, passion, and a little ingenuity, even an old budget-friendly camera can still tell a great story. Check. Hey, I'm Michael.
Hey, I'm Jake. You're putting it in there.
Open it. Merry Christmas, buddy. Inside that bag.
Why is the bag humming?
Is our new video. I don't know. Open it and find out.
Oh my god.
Wow, dude, isn't that crazy? Whatever that is, it must be pretty hot.
What
Afterburn.
is this?
So that is a Canon Vixia HF R700. Came out in 2016 and it is the first camera I ever bought. I remember when I first bought this camera. I thought it looked good. Back then, I had no real understanding of what cameras were capable of or what features mattered most. All I knew was that it could help me make movies, and that was enough for me. Now, almost 10 years later, with a decade of filmmaking experience, I wanted to revisit this old camcorder and see what it could create. Could I push it to produce a great-looking short film, or would its limitations ultimately hold us back? We're gonna get up here and we're gonna do a little walk around, and I'm gonna see if you notice the same thing I noticed with it. So go ahead and stand up.
Everything seems to be in focus.
Okay, but does it not feel like it has like auto stabilizing? So go walk that way. Walk towards.
Oh yeah, I'm not like really seeing my steps that
turn
much.
around.
It seems like it's.
Walking. Isn't that crazy? It has like stabilization.
It's kind of gimbally, yeah.
Yeah. As you know, there's a lot that goes into making a film, but it all starts with building a crew. While this short didn't call for a large team, I knew I could use some backup. So I reached out to my filmmaking buddy Jake Daniels to get his take on the camera and see how we can make it work for this project.
I'm not hating what I'm seeing so far.
Yeah, it's interesting, ain't it?
Yeah.
While this camera does have some notable positive features, it comes with several limitations that make it less ideal for shooting a film. It struggles in low light. The small sensor leads to grainy and noisy footage in dimly lit environments. It has a basic build quality. The camera's plastic construction feels cheap and lacks additional mounting points beyond the standard tripod screw. It has very limited manual controls. With minimal adjustment options, it restricts creative control over essential settings like aperture, shutter speed, and focus.
So moving the camera in kind of a darker environment. Look at the rolling shutter. And then up here, brighter environment. Rolling shutter. So is it auto adjusting my shutter? It appears to be because I can actually see the grid. If I go away, it opens up. Yeah. Problems in terms of actually using it? Yeah. Recording audio. I would probably want to use external audio. There's a little tripod mount, little 120, so you can rig this up. It doesn't seem like you can externally power it, so it's just these little baby batteries. The image isn't very contrasty. Well, so I wonder how it color grades. What's next?
Well, we gotta rig up the camera, which we'll do, and then we gotta get the production going. So, put your hand in front of the camera or something. The next phase involved writing and casting the role. Initially, the short was set to take place outdoors in a vehicle. However, due to Iowa's weather, we had to pivot and reimagine the setting. Now, the location is a moody living room during sunset. This adjustment presents a challenge, fighting the low light ability of the camera. I don't know, some sort of dolly shot.
Yeah, dolly in.
Are we pushing in to him? We're here at the door handle. We're coming up, we're tilting up. Just before he opens it, he looks back. Yeah, he looks back. Yeah, and then like, do we pan left? Cool, so I think what we'll do next is get it set up for sunset.
Is the Canon? Canon Vixia RF700. I'm sorry, HF R700. It is 32x optical zoom, handheld camcorder. That's about as much as I know about it right now.
The camera? Oh, you know, pretty much anything and everything you'd want in a camera. Does it have manual focus?
No.
Doesn't have manual focus. It might, we don't really
You
know.
can rock the zoom focus though.
You never smelled Limburger cheese?
Nah.
You ever smell hot dog shit? It smells like a turd. It smells like human poop.
Okay, great. That's awesome, Vern, thank you. I think on action, we're panning the camera and you're not talking until you set the phone down. So even when you set the phone down, wait a tiny beat and then start talking.
There you go. Cute little control piece.
That does look awesome.
Does it? Does this look like cinema?
That's kind of cool. This is like the Shining shot. Just like get really in there, like uncomfortably in there.
Yeah.
What the heck? That thing zooms so much.
Hey, honey, it's me. I don't know why I'm doing this. No, that's a lie. I do know. I've spent my life trying to do the right thing. Worked that factory job for 26 years. I've kept my head down, paid my taxes. I smile at that boss every single day when he was cutting our pay. And what did that get me? Nothing. You always said I was too proud to ask for help. Maybe you were right. But what do you do when you run out of options? What do you do when there's nothing left to lose? I tried, you know. I tried to get another job. Tried to scrape up enough money for the mortgage. Wasn't enough. I was never enough. Now the bank's taking the house, taking the car, everything we ever worked for. I'm not doing this for me or our future. I'm doing this for her, for Sarah. And if you're hearing this, something went wrong. Maybe I didn't do it. Maybe I did it and I got caught. I need you to know, I never wanted this. I never wanted it to become this. If you're still listening to this, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for everything. Tell Sarah I love her. Tell her Daddy loves her. Tell her her dad was not always the man I'd become.
Hey everyone, Jake here. I'm going to give a quick rundown on the color grade for If You're Listening. I was actually very impressed by this camera in terms of color. The workflow wasn't that bad at all. I know it's a small sensor and an old camera, but for some reason the color grading went very well, very smoothly. So because we have a small sensor and it's an older camera, we are obviously going to have to do a lot of noise reduction for all this grain. I'm impressed by just how much information we have in these scopes here. To offset sort of the softness we get from noise reduction, I'm going to add in some mid-tone detail, especially since we are dealing with human faces. We'd like to see that. The other thing I did, since we are working with noir, and because it is a very moody scene, I desaturated just a little bit. But overall, I was very impressed with how this camera performed and how the final color grade turned out.
I think the camera sucks, and everything I was worried about was true. Overall, I'm pretty proud of how this project turned out. If given the opportunity again, I'd aim for a bigger concept. I approached this short film knowing that lighting a dialogue scene and using simple techniques like shooting on the shadow side would create a decent looking image. The biggest challenge, however, was working with limited manual controls, especially when it came to adjusting focus. Many takes had to be pieced together because of the focus issues, which were mostly due to shooting in low light. That said, this was an enjoyable and rewarding challenge. It had been quite a while since we used this camera for a short film, and revisiting it with a bit more knowledge and experience under our belts was a good change of pace.
Maybe, do you want to win this camera? We'll give it away.
No, no one wants this camera. Vern wants it for his private endeavors.
Yeah. Stuff I film looks good when it's grainy.